So the harvester wants the very best trees, but the problem is if you keep taking only the best, you're going to be left with junky trees. And that's why our forests are so messed up. We have to do the opposite. Way up there, so I've just been wanting to make this video for so long to talk about timber harvesting and fire protection. Like, look at all this brush in here. This is an invasive species. It's called French broom. It's everywhere here in Northern California, and it's quite a fire hazard. I used to do wildland firefighting, and what I worry about the most as being an arborist is like how much fuel is on the ground is enough to have an intense ground fire that can cause the fire to extend into the canopy of the trees and then destroy all the trees, because we don't want to destroy the trees. The brush can come back. The brush will come back quickly. These trees aren't going to come back quickly. And this isn't even an old growth forest. This forest behind me has been harvested multiple times. It's like third growth or something like that. There's some Doug firs in here. It's mostly ponderosa pine, some Douglas firs. And but here's the thing about logging they don't tell you. Like, people are saying we need to log. We need to go back to logging to reduce the fuel load in the forest. What we really need to do is we need to get rid of all the brush. All this brush here, all this fuel load, it's just loaded in here. The fuel load is huge. But here's the thing they don't tell you about logging. We do need to do logging, but we need to do logging from the opposite spectrum. The way we've done logging in the past is we've taken all the best trees. That's what they did when in the glory days of logging. It wasn't about sustainability for the forest. It was about how much money can we make and how fast can we make it. And what we need is we need to go back. We need to do sustainable forestry. We need to have harvest plans that are sustainable for many generations to come and into the future. The forest is so messed up because what they did in the old days is they took all the best timber. I'm more into like actually doing tree work and taking care of trees, and I'm like a boots on the ground arborist. I'm not a bureaucrat arborist, but so here's the deal. The way I grade trees is grade A1. A1 trees are the ones that have the best genetics, have the best shape, and a lot of them are old growth. I mean, an A1 tree is like a perfect tree, a nice big healthy tree. It's growing in the right location. It's super healthy, and it has good shape, good genetic shape. It's nice, like for instance, in a conifer, it's a nice straight tree, a tree that's nice and straight. Look at that thing. Look at this giant, man. It's well over 300 feet tall. And it has a healthy crown, and it has a good, good seed production, good cones, and it's got really good genetics. It's not forked top. It's growing nice and straight and is super healthy. That's a grade A1 tree. And then there's grade A trees. Those are trees that aren't the old growth, but are like second growth, but they have perfect genetic shape. Those are grade A trees. And then you have the grade B trees, which are trees that are okay. They could be harvested. So they might have a bow at the bottom, but then the upper part straightens out. They might have a little wow at the bottom because they grew when they were younger. They were either under the canopy of another tree and they were seeking sunlight. Then they shot up for the sky and they got their upper canopy achieved. And then there's grade C trees. Grade C's ones are kind of messed up. They have complications and disorders, forked tops. They grow crooked or twisted. And then there's grade D trees. D trees are trees that are dying, dead, or deformed, or diseased. Anything with a D, anything diseased, dying, dead, or deformed. Really bad. And those are the grade D trees. And what we've done all these years in logging is we've gone after the grade A's, grade A1s. They came and they said, look at that beautiful tree, an ancient giant tree. It's 400 feet tall. And what did they do? Let's cut the thing down. So that's what they did. They worked from the top down. They took the best trees and left all the junky ones. And here's the thing, the trees that are grade B and grade C trees, they have genetics. And those genetics are not as good as the grade A1 trees. The ancient grandfather trees that have perfect genetics, the junky trees they left behind don't have as good of genetics. And that's why our forest, that's part of the reason why our forests are so messed up, besides the lack of good forest management, is the poor genetics. We took all the best genetic trees, and I'll show you here in this forest right here. But like, there's a nice ponderosa pine right in front of me. That looks like, I mean, I would grade that an grade A ponderosa pine. It's a really nice, it has a nice straight crown. It looks really healthy. The crown looks healthy and green. And it has a nice straight trunk, very little taper. That's what timber harvesters look for. Taper in the tree. A nice straight tree makes better lumber, less warping, better grain. But yeah, no, that's what we did. We took all the best trees and we left the junky ones. And so what happened is the forest is full of low-grade trees. And so the people that say we need to go back to logging, are they going to take the bad trees, the trees that need to come out, the grade D, the dead, dying, diseased, and deformed, and the grade C trees, the ones that are not as genetically good and are twisted and forked tops? So the harvester wants the very best trees. But the problem is, if you keep taking only the best, you're going to be left with junky trees. And that's why our forests are so messed up. We have to do the opposite. We have to take and that's what I do. I do tree falling and restorative land management and restorative forestry management. I go in and I take out the junk trees, the dead trees, the brush, the stuff that's not very profitable. And I leave the best trees, and I leave the forest in really good condition. And I don't rip up the ground, and I don't cat face the trees, and I try to not cause soil compaction or disrupt the topsoil or the organic matter on the top of the soil. You try not to disrupt that as much as you can. If you use equipment, you have to use it with discretion, and you have to use it with wisdom. And I've seen guys who are really good equipment operators that know what they're doing, and they don't mess up the forest. And they're pretty good going in and coming out, and some guys go in like they're in like some kind of a Yahoo drunken rodeo, and they're like spinning donuts, and they go out when it's wet and the ground is wet, and they rip up the ground and cause soil compaction and destroy the forest duff and all kinds of stuff. But the thing is, yeah, I mean, it's basically, and here's the thing, if we do only the way we've done logging in the past, where we only take the best trees and leave all the junk, it's going to make the forest more of a fire hazard. Because here's the other thing. Those grade A1 trees and the grade A trees, those resist fire better than all the junk trees that have been left behind traditionally in the past. All those junk trees that have been left behind in the past are not as good at resisting fire. Man, it looks wider than 13.8 feet to me. So yeah, these large trees that are in these preserves, these represent less than 3% of the trees that were originally the old growth quantity. Both sides are right. The side that says we shouldn't log the trees and the side that says we need to. They're both right and they're both wrong about some things. And here's what they're right and wrong about. We do need to thin the forests to reduce the fire hazard. But here's the thing about commercial logging, and this is what they've done all these years, is the truth is they've taken the best of the best trees. They haven't, the objective of logging in the past wasn't to manage the forest and do what's healthiest for the forest. The objective was to take what would make the most amount of money in the shortest period of time. And this right here is an example of an area that does need to desperately be thinned. It's right near the preserve. It's actually in the preserve. But this area had been logged in the past, and these are all second and third growth trees coming up. They're skinny little suckers. They're way too close together. They're a fire hazard growing like this. The trees are not going to develop as good of a shape just too close together like this. And they're going to be prone to falling over and things like that. And so, yeah, this area needs to be thinned. And over the years, They've taken about 98% or more of the old growth out of California. And a lot of that wood's just been wasted. There was just a lot of waste. It was just, I think it was overly excessive personally, just way out of control.